Hello everyone, it's me, John Lorden, and I'm back with another edition of BrainScratch, and we're back to kind of what I'll call my core investigation, basically the case that has just really grabbed not only my attention, but the attention of many subscribers and commenters on these videos. And of course, there are just so many questions that I'm going to fire up another video and start up some more conversation and see if we can kick around more ideas about what might be going on in the investigation of the murder of Elisa Lam. So just to get started, here's a quick picture of Elisa, and this is actually from a video that a new friend of mine through this whole case made. He made a memorial tribute to Elisa, so I'm going to put a link down below so you can check that out for yourself. I believe he released it right around her birthday, which I thought was kind of a cool thing, and it's pretty well done, and it also kind of helps remind us that this is a person. You know, this was a life that was cut short too quickly. Also want to give a quick shout out to a new friend of mine, Colin Mcguire, who has helped do some research and sent me a bunch of information. I don't know if you all know, but I'm not on Facebook. I just choose not to be on that platform. But Colin did a bunch of detective work basically on Facebook for me to try to flesh out more of the story of Sarah Lam, Elisa's sister, and he sent me his analysis, which was great. And basically the short of it is Sarah Lam appears to be a real person. She got married, there's footage of her wedding, and her husband actually called out for help on Twitter quite a bit when Elisa went missing. So that's kind of a new little aspect that I hadn't seen or heard of before. And once again leads more credence to the story that this is a real family, this isn't some kind of fictional creation for Hollywood to make millions in a movie, even though they are going to make millions when they make the movie. But so just wanted to thank Colin about that. Now, there's one piece of evidence that I haven't really talked about too much, and many commenters are asking about it, so that's what this video is about, and that is that there was some graffiti on, or close to, literally on the array for the water tanks, and it looks pretty fresh. So new friend Rick the Explorer here actually commented on this also, and in his comment he spells it out, Fecto cunt hersuma, which according to many people appears to be Latin, but I've seen other people try to translate it into other languages with all kinds of varying results. But it seems the most credible thing that I can find is that it is an extremely old Latin saying, which is not very nice. To Rick's comment here, it translates to, in fact, she was a cunt. And that's, I've seen all kinds of variations, but basically that's about the feeling that all of them have. It's a derogatory term that was left near the water towers. And here is a picture of it. So what strikes me about this picture is, well, first of all, we see this is the tank, I believe, that she was actually found in, and there is a ladder that's there, and it's kind of questionable if that ladder is there all the time or not. According to certain reports I've seen, they don't leave the ladder up there, they have to take it up there, and then according to other people, it's actually chained to that, so there's a little bit of debate about the ladder. But just even looking at this photo here, this is written in white, and if you look at it very closely, it doesn't look like it has aged very much. There's also a bit of markings up on top of it, like almost like a sunburst, or maybe it could feasibly be water, like a splash of water, which is very curious. I haven't really seen that this is part of the official investigation. Of course, we haven't seen a lot of details about the official investigation, but there are a ton of people that are asking about this, so I just wanted to touch base on it and leave a forum for us, for you, so that if you want to drop some comments with your thoughts on it below, please go ahead and do so. Now I had another new friend via YouTube send me some information and their analysis on this. And they actually found a picture of another part of the roof. that was also tagged with the same saying, although it's written a bit differently. Fecto, summa, cunt, and her. It's almost like it's the same words but out of order. But what's interesting about this is it's actually tagged with a date of 2012, and we all know that Elisa died in early 2013. Once again, it's written in white. Once again, it doesn't look like it's weathered very much, so it would be my feeling that this graffiti was done probably in the second half of 2012, but definitely outside of the time frame that I think Elisa was up there. So just based on, this is, I know it's not a whole lot of evidence, but based on this very small piece of evidence, my feeling is that the graffiti is old, that it was already up there. Maybe the police did look at it, maybe they saw this other one that was tagged and dated 2012 and they decided that it wasn't part of the case. We can only speculate about that. In terms of tagging, there's a few things that kind of hit me about this. First of all, why write something up there? I mean, usually when people tag something, they're doing it so that other people see it. I mean, if you drive around LA, around the freeways, you see that it's usually high populated areas, places that have a lot of traffic that get tagged. So why would you sneak onto this semi-secure roof, even if you used the fire escape to get up there, to tag it? Who do you think would be your audience that would see that up there? So that kind of leads me to another thought. Obviously, this roof is not very secure because people are getting up there and doing things such as tagging it. Also, in terms of the words, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you want, you can run a Google search on this actual term, and you will see many different conversation threads going on, all kinds of different websites. And there's kind of this general feeling of, this isn't a statement that like a general tagger would write. You know, it kind of sounds like something that someone that's some kind of psychopath would write. But what I find interesting here is that the words are so much out of order compared to the writing on the water tank that maybe it's not a sentence. You know, frequently, especially in Los Angeles, what we will see tagged are the names of members of some type of group or gang. And it could be that, I can't imagine some guy running around calling himself cunt, but, you know, there's all types out there. So, especially because the order is so mixed up here, something with me is saying maybe it's not a whole phrase, maybe it is indeed separate words for some reason that are just being laid out there. So, I don't know. If you have any other thoughts on it or any other research or input, please drop it below and I'll take a look at it. But I think that's about all I can say on the graffiti. If there's anything to take away from it, it's that obviously this rooftop was not secured well, and people were getting up there and doing other things. And so much so that the person that tagged this thought that other people would see it at some point. And I don't think this was written just for the hotel staff. So, but it's all speculation, right? There was something else. I remember when I was looking through Elisa's multimedia before that I saw a picture somewhere that said the word cunt, and I found it just kind of odd. I went back and tried to find it. I can't find the picture. She has a lot of online media, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to leave links to all that in the description so you can check all the accounts that I've found. I think there's possibly a Facebook account for her, so if any of you have that, please send me a message with it and I'll add it down there. But as far as I know, in the description you will find, on top of the tribute video, you'll find all the links for Elisa's online media. I came back to her Nouvelle Nouveau Tumblr, and there's something that kind of struck me about it. First of all, it's been updated since after her disappearance, which some people have thought might be due to her cell phone missing, that, you know, maybe whoever has it was still updating to Tumblr for some reason. Other people have told me you can have timed posts in Tumblr where you kind of set them up ahead of time and you say, you know, release this on this date. But there was something that hit me kind of strange today when I was looking at all this. See this picture here? This lady's name is Elisa Nalin, N-A-L-I-N, or Nalin. And this photo was posted to this Tumblr account on January 29th, 2013, which we can assume at that point that Elisa still had control of her Tumblr account. And you can see that she was really kind of posting a lot of artsy stuff. You got an old picture of Bowie here, a lot of cool paintings and artwork. But what is strange about this, and if you come to her Tumblr, be sure to go into the archive section so you can see it grouped by month. I do have to say, the way they group this information is really bad for trying to go back through it, because the dates are pretty much out of order, but at least you can get it grouped by month if you go into the archive section. Here's January, here's the cutoff for January, and then up here, this is all February. And there's a lot of it, and it looks extremely similar in tone to the posts that happened in January. It's very, very odd. And what's even odder is if we go to March 2013, once again, we see Elisa Lam. So I looked her up. Oh, before we jump there, April 2013, once again, Elisa Lam, and June 2013, there she is again. So I did just a quick search on her, and she is a big person in the fashion industry. She's got tons of Google images, but I did find it kind of curious that basically there's this other woman named Elisa tied to this whole case, and for some reason her image keeps coming up on this Tumblr over and over after Elisa Lam has passed. Outside of all that, I took a look real quick at just how many murders go unsolved, and I found this great article I'll also put down in the description from NPR. 1/3 of murders in America go unsolved, and this is actually changing. That here it states that 50 years ago they would solve about 90% of homicides, and now it's down to 64.1%. However, if it's a homicide involving a police officer, which traditionally are harder cases because there is usually no linkage between the person committing, or sometimes there's no linkage between the person committing the act, they are almost always solved. So there's definitely a culture happening within the police departments of not getting these cases solved properly. This article goes into a bunch of reasoning around that. It's a great read. I really think you should check it out. But that's about it for this one. I just wanted to kind of tie up some loose ends, and then in trying to tie up these loose ends, I hit this new question about this other Elisa, and let me just leave you with this thought. This is just something that kind of spins around in my mind. Because the Tumblr account looks so similar from January to February, and February has almost a full month's worth of postings, is it possible that Elisa Lam actually queued those up to be released that following month, knowing that she was not going to be alive? Is it possible that she's trying to, or tried to set herself up to become a supernatural story within the internet ahead of time? It's really strange. I guess it's also possible that whoever took over her account after her passing wanted to make it look like she was alive still for a while, or once again add more credence to this theory of supernatural elements being around this story. And who has to benefit from that? I think Sony Pictures, the Cecil Hotel. I mean, there's definitely a handful of people. So that's it for this video. We will go into more of these loose ends in the next video, including the Invisible Light Agency and invisibility cloaks and some other stuff that's kicking around. I'm going to start reaching into the myths a bit more and just try to drum up some conversation around those so we can check those out together and see if there's any credence. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of BrainScratch. Do you feel it? I sure do every time I look into this case. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for all the support, and I look forward to reading your comments. Take care.